Hey, Tariq, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, Elijah.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it, my man. And you see, Tariq, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So, firstly, Tariq, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest it in yourself. And oftentimes, my man, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, Tariq, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Tariq, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Tarek. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely moment that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Tarek that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, the impact your work is having, how you are offering your solutions, your philosophies, and your insight. These stuffs are amazing. And just before you got the request from me, Tarek, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Tarek is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Tariq. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much, my man.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
Beautiful silver man. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show, Tariq, for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, my man, ever since
Elijah,
I realized that
it
light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Tariq on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, my man, um, we live in a world where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey. Because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Tariq got here. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, my man, over to you.
yeah. So my name is Tariq Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Franchise Empire, and we help people find, buy, and launch franchise businesses. And when most people think of franchising, they think of companies like McDonald's and Taco Bell and KFC, all these different food franchises. And the reality is, there's over 4,000 different franchise brands out there, probably ones that listeners use every day in service-based business, financial-based businesses, so on and so forth. And the way that I got here was that from the ages of 18 to 26, I had 9 different failed businesses. I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was working in the corporate world And I kept trying to start business after business, and things just weren't working. And one day I had an aha. I thought, wow, if someone gave me a proven template or a proven model, then I feel pretty confident that I could execute on it. And so back in 2015, I signed my first franchise agreement and was able to do $30,000 in sales my second month in business, $470,000 my first year, and use that as the stepping stone to get myself free from corporate America. And then I just started making videos about my experience being a franchise owner, just kind of giving tips to individuals. And I was able to then build a platform and helping other people. People started reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I want to leave my job," or "Your story resonated with me." And Franchise Empire was born. And now we've helped hundreds and hundreds of people.
Amazing, amazing, my man. That's profound, and that's a beautiful journey. And thank you for sharing that with us. So I've got some questions, stuff I'm still curious about. You said you went from 9 failed businesses to building such a very, very enormous amount of company, $4.6 million company. So what finally changed you? Like, what can you say caused that change? I don't know if you got.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because everyone is always looking for what's that secret sauce? What's that one thing? And the reality is that there was not one moment. I would say there was not one moment that changed me. I would say it was the process of continuing on despite failure, because all of those entrepreneurial journeys from the ages of 18 to 26, I learned something from all of them. They all compounded to get me to where I am today. And so, but more specifically, and I think the best answer to that question is what change was following through and realizing that the obstacle is the way. And where I may have previously jumped from one thing to another thing when things got difficult, the real secret to anyone who's been successful in anything, but specifically business, is they just have not quit. They haven't quit. When things get hard, they continue. And so that was one of the biggest lessons. There's me having started Franchise Empire almost 5 years ago now. I've probably wanted to give up every week. There's been probably once a week a time where I thought, man, I'm in over my head. This is hard. This is difficult. I'm facing this new problem or challenge, and I don't know if I can keep doing this. And it's those who just continue on. And so I think that's the biggest advice that I could give people, because there's a million business opportunities out there right now, and people are making videos and content on all these different specific business opportunities. That it doesn't matter the opportunity. It's what you actually follow through on and execute on and stick with. That is what will get most people to where they want to go.
To where they want to go. In the part you mentioned that the obstacle is the. I got that. I got that. Beautiful. So, what are the biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs make when starting, and how can they avoid?
What are the mistakes they make? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah. Like the biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs make, and how they can avoid this mistake.
Well, number one, I think that they lack clarity. That's a mistake. They don't have a specific and clear vision. And so if you don't know exactly where you're going and what your destination is, how do you get there? How do you
Hmm.
know where to turn? How do you know what decisions to make, right? I know for me that I wanted to, my vision had always been to have a YouTube channel and to be able to help and speak to millions of people on the internet and be able to help them create their dream life, and to be able to share my stories and the things that I've learned, my failures, my journey, and my mistakes. That has been my vision since 2008, almost 20 years now. And so the road was not a straight road or a straight path. It deviated much. And I didn't, start making really my first content around franchising until 2019. So I think that's the number one mistake, is not having a clear vision. Number two, and these are more like philosophical than strategic, is not having a strong enough why. At the end of the day, if the why is strong enough, you will figure out the how, right? So entrepreneurs start out, things get tough, they give up because they're not clear on their why. Why are you doing this? Is it for your family? Is it to create generational wealth? Is it so that you never have to work for someone else again? Is it because you were poor as a kid and you don't want your family to experience that? The deeper it is, the more fuel you'll have, and the more it will drive you. And then from a more strategic standpoint, I think people make these mistakes. Number one is not understanding their customer or the problem that they are solving. And that business is, if you lead with trying to make the most money, you'll be chasing rabbits around all day. If you lead with how can I solve a problem and be the best at solving that problem, then generally that's going to lead to you making money. Because if you can successfully solve someone's problem, they're going to pay you, they're going to refer you, and your business will naturally progress, especially if you're really good at solving that problem, right? Think about Amazon. Amazon got really good at solving the problem of being a one-stop shop of buying things and convenience and speed, and that was a problem that they were solving. Hey, I need to buy this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing, and I got to go to 5 different websites. Oh, wow, I can just go to one place and do it. They solved a problem. The second mistake that people make is they focus too much on trying to perfect the operations or have things all neat and tidy. And the reality is there's a phrase, is that sales cures all. So the mistake that they make is not focusing enough on generating sales and revenue. And in the beginning, that is pretty much the only thing that matters. Now, you might say that, hey, Tariq, you just contradicted yourself. You just said, I got to solve a problem, not to focus on the money. And now you're saying that sales is the only thing that matters. Well, you generate sales by being focused on solving problems. But it doesn't matter how great your product is, how great your service is. If you're not generating revenue and making that the priority, you can't stay in business. And it's through generating revenue that you can then hire more people and grow and build your business. So in the beginning, and through a lot of my failed businesses, I was focusing so much on things that didn't matter a lot and getting stuck there, instead of focusing on, hey, generating revenue is what matters. Number 3 is that the best marketer wins. So there's a phrase, the best marketer wins. And it's the people that become really good at marketing that become the most successful entrepreneurs, not who has the best product. Think about McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't have the best food. They don't have the best product. McDonald's is great at marketing. And that's one of the things that they've become really good at. So those are a few of the kind of philosophical mistakes that people make, as well as the strategic mistakes that they make.
Profound words. And thank you for explaining it that way. You broke it down really pretty good and you made it quite easy to understand. So we've got just 2 more questions to go. All right. Now let us look at it from the perspective of someone who is stuck in overthinking or how can they break out of that cycle and start taking action?
So someone stuck in overthinking and self-doubt, that was a place that I spent many years in. in that those 9 failed businesses. And it's still a challenge to this day. I think number one, realizing that it will always be there. And so just learning how to move forward despite, like, there's a phrase, act in spite of fear. Courage does not represent the absence of fear. Courage represents doing it anyways, despite the fear. And so if someone's stuck in overthinking and self-doubt, number one, you're focused on yourself. Start focusing on how you can help other people. If you're focused on the self-doubt, then you're being selfish. If you know that you can help someone and you're thinking about yourself, well, it is selfish of you to not go out and help someone, regardless of whether you doubt yourself or not. That's a selfish stance. So when you think about it like that, you go, oh, I owe it to people to overcome this doubt. And there's a phrase that I really, it had to become my mantra, which is progress over perfection. Overthinking comes from not wanting to make the wrong decision and not wanting to make a mistake. So number one, just know that failure is a prerequisite of success. You have to fail in order to succeed. You have to make mistakes in order to make progress. So if you try to avoid making mistakes and not failing, you are also, by default, avoiding success. So when you take this mentality of failing forward and progress over perfection, then you realize that things do not have to be perfect. I can continue to move forward in spite of it. And number two is that failing forward is exactly the way that I'm going to get to the success that I want.
Profound, profound words, I tell you. And these things they don't teach us. They even persecute us from mistakes. Beautiful. So to bring this to an end, Tariq, what would you like to leave us with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything discussed, or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
Yeah, final thought. Let's see. I think at the end of the day, when I look back on my journey, God has guided my journey the entire time. And so number one, all of the glory of whatever I have done and even not have done, goes to God. And it goes
Yeah,
with having faith. Yes. And so I think, what's super helpful is just to spend some time with God and yourself and ask him for guidance on what you should do, who you need to connect with. Spend some time in prayer and just asking God, guide my journey. This is what my vision is. This is what I want to create. This is the impact that I want to have. I surrender to you and lead me, guide me. And there's been many times where I've said that prayer and where I've just said, you know what, I'm just going to have faith and I believe that things will work out. And it's not always been pretty. It's been scary. I've had many sleepless nights. But at the end of the day, it's always worked out exactly when it's needed to. And so I think that the most important thing is that if you put your trust in God and you have faith, even when it seems like things are going wrong, there is a reason for it. And there can be a peace in that. In terms of where people can find me, you can go to franchiseempire.com if you have a desire or interest in learning more about franchises. We have all sorts of free resources on YouTube. If you type my name, Tariq Johnson, Tariq Johnson, I've made hundreds of videos online of everything around entrepreneurship, franchises, etc. Reach out there. You can go on Instagram, find me on Instagram, Tariq Johnson Official. You can add me on LinkedIn, whatever the platform of your choice. Go ahead and follow, subscribe. Shoot me a message, whatever.
beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you for coming. And thank you for sharing these beautiful stuffs with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Elijah.